388. So he says that following a verification exercise reported in paragraph 8 above, 388, paragraph 10. That following a verification exercise reported in paragraph 8 above, the chairman of the constituency wanted to share the party list with the district and regional committees to avoid controversies during the primary elections, because the electoral college is made from the elected party officials and he needed support to meet the transport costs. And I provided the same. Find attached here to a copy of the list of party officials now produced before me and marked as Exhibit AJM2. So he has disclosed where he got this list.
I'm very responsible to this himself. So, moving again and understand that following verification exercise reported in paragraph 8 above, okay, the chairman of the constituency wanted to share the party list with the district and with the communities to avoid controversies during the primary elections before the vote is moved from the elected party officials and in support to move the transport cost, and this provided the same.
Yes, the transport.
The transport and all that. One document on the right, is good. As for this list, we have discussed there, the chairman of the BA, I know you will call for testimony, but you can answer on that now.
Okay.
But we already said that we have this list, that he gave him, and all that we identify on this court.
I'm going to ask you an assumptive question because I want at least to establish a certain level of understanding. If that list were authentic, would you agree with me that if there was any controversy on the electoral college, it ought to be resolved within that list?
I think this will be an assumption.
No, there is a reason I have asked you that question. I want to know whether, as a matter of principle, you are willing to be bound by certain established practices.
You phrase for an assumption.
I don't think will you agree? So remember where I'm coming from. There is a primary list or a primary document and secondary document. And you have agreed that the electoral college is a secondary document. Each primary document will be a register like this. So my question is, will you agree with me that if there was a dispute about who should be in the electoral college or who shouldn't be, the best way to resolve it is to check whether they appear in the register? You don't agree with that? I want you to explain.
Because when I got the letter from the college, what I was told by the Constitutional Committee and the people behind the ground that these are our members, some of them had left my Communist Party. They were members before and had left the Communist Party along the way. So whether they are on this list or not, others might have left the party. So that's what I'm saying, that it's not a good explanation. They clearly that some members that have appeared on the list who are not members of the
If we were to give you time, would you be able to say that one left, that one left, that one?
So, as the day on, you deny me that
I want us to move to the last area. You have stated in your, I think, supplementary sworn statement. Just a minute, my lord. My lord, I'm referring the witness to the document appearing on page 274. In paragraph 4, you say, yesterday around 1800 hours, I saw reports that a primary 274. 4. Yesterday around 1800 hours, I saw reports that primary elections for the defendant's parliamentary candidate for Mzimba Central constituency had been conducted, and that the winner was Mr. Adamson Kuserim Kandawiri, who had supposedly amassed 262 votes, while I had apparently gotten 5 votes. I want your confirmation. Were you aware of the primary elections of the 11th, or you were never aware? There were several candidates apart from you. Have you checked whether they were aware or not? So you have never bothered. Have you heard that the elections were shifted from the original place to another place? So at some point before the election took place, you were aware that the election was going to take place on the 11th? So the information you got from Councillor Chondo that the venue has changed, when was this relayed to you?
I said but prior to that, as of date of my evening,
remember where I started from? I started from your paragraph 4.
yes.
Okay. Yesterday, around 1800 hours. Okay. Was that yesterday, the 11th?
suppose the primary
The primary elections took place on the 11th, so if you had on the 10th, in fact, you were aware. Was 11th. Okay, so the 11th, your statement is, yesterday, around 1800 hours, 11th. Okay. So you became aware that okay, so 9 a.m. on the 11th, you became aware. Primary elections. Okay. Then in the evening of the same day, you were told that. Okay. Has anyone told you why the venue was changed from Chamaliwa to Katunguri? Not Councillor Nyondo? Not White Shower? Matthews Shower? John Chondo? I said Nyondo. I don't know how that came. I don't know how that came. Apologies. Chondo. Actually, it's there at the end. Okay. So nobody told you why elections could not take place at Chamaliwa? Has anyone told you that there was actually violence at Chamaliwa? You were. So someone told you. I'm going to ask Councillor Soko because he owns the computer to kind of play a couple of videos.
Video. Can I have my resource person? The one who's open with the projector.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Chamaliwa ya ikwende kutinangira chipandi tikumbenge cha
So you started that all over again. Once it starts being someone who knows where the sleep is. Can you speak? That helps.
This is the Chamaliwa ya ikwende kutinangira chipandi tikumbenge cha kutinangira chipandi tikumbenge cha kutinangira chipandi tikumbenge cha
wena Mumba ngosa chifaki Mumba yayo
Maybe one more and then we can play the others if they will become necessary.
Just a moment. 9 a.m. 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 9
Mumba waluzisenga chakwera.
Kati ya kona nyembo.
One. Nikawa utawawa. Mungu kwetu yeye. Wote wako Mzuzu. Kanisa jibaba ku Mzuzu. Vamumba hivyo. Nikaenda Vamumba. Na basi so na bana yo yangu
Wapata sauti ngana tena ukapata msemuka.
Okay. At some point you became aware of this. I have gone through the entire of your evidence and all your witnesses. They are silent on this. Would you like to explain to the court why they don't want to acknowledge?
Number one, if you like to do that, you see the second video you get through. The lady there is saying, the future I means that one. Meaning to be like stones, like family, you how you open the light. They will throw the phone at night time. Someone runs away from the fire.
My question is simple. No. This time you are going to answer the question.
Every answer will be in the giving
My Lord, advise the witness.
The question is why you are saying. I think the question is straightforward. Why are your documents not saying
None of any of your witnesses have said that there was violence at Chamaliwa and therefore the venue was changed. Why is that? Even you. Why is that?
If it's an issue, for myself, I'll ask for myself, not my fellow, I want to cover with this. I do not indicate anything of violence in this video, number one, I was not there. Social media. Number two, when I became of violence, I ordered my people to go to police at a police station because the commander was also on my side, our car was mine. They went to the police station and reported the matter, the criminal matter police, and the people of the civil defendant someone and arrested, and the out of there.
And there is no single witness that's testifying to this on your behalf.
The criminal matter is being out there of the police station. So we felt, like myself, I feel the issue being handled at the police station, where we reported the matter of violence against our people on the road. But on this matter, the range of what is taking place and the same level of
Would you agree with me that if you formed an opinion that Mr. Adamson Kandawire was responsible for sponsoring that violence, you would have included that as a ground for challenging the validity of the election?
I've never assumed that and I cannot, I repeat, I cannot make assumptions in a
Let's wrap up. I want us to go back to page 8. I want you to go to paragraph 3. In that paragraph, you are alleging, page 8. Page 8. So that's your complaint. Wait a minute, page 7. That's page 7. Yeah. So I'm starting at 3. This is just for confirmation. The said elections are required to be held in a manner that is consistent with the defendant's constitution, practices, and conventions. Can you point to this court which section or article of MCP's constitution details out the conduct of primary elections?
It is, I'll focus not on the practices.
No. I have asked you on the constitution.
About the Isn't that a legal issue though? I thought one of the Mumba is here as a witness of fact. Surely you can't be asking questions about the MCP constitution. I think that's something that can be submitted on, and indeed in the skeleton, I think that issue has been addressed. So I don't see any reason why the witness should be taken to task on the MCP constitution.
My Lord, ordinarily, I would have considered that point, except that Honorable Mumba has also repeated that statement in his own statement. So he has actually put it in evidence. Let me just get to the specific paragraph. So, if we go to page 101,
Page 101.
paragraph 4. Oh, sorry. Sorry. You see, your counsel is on my back. You think I'm taking too long. 101, paragraph 4. Primary elections within the defendant are organized under the defendant's constitution, a copy whereof is now produced to me and exhibited hereto, marked as VAZ1, and are principally participated in by delegates from the party's local structures. So my question is actually coming from there. I had gone there because I thought if we are able to agree, that side would remove it, and so it would stop being part of your...
My Lord, the issue of law, whether there is reference to it in the material. So the only reason why you need to exhibit a party constitution is you have to formally produce it to the record. But other than that, a document speaks for itself. I mean, that's set of law, a document speaks for itself. So for me, I think there's very little value to be had in asking the lay witness, the witness of fact, to be discussing the party constitution. Once we agree that this is the party constitution, I think that should be the end of the matter. Is the lawyers can access of it, but for you to... I wouldn't have problems if there are specific questions that maybe he wants to... maybe there is a particular provision he wants him to, I don't know, but for the witness to be commenting on the constitution, that sounds a little...
Yeah, let's move on. I don't think we'll give any result in insisting on, because he mentions the constitution generally, doesn't mention a specific provision. And I think implicitly he has considered that will make reference to practices, not an actual provision in the constitution. So dwelling on that point, I don't think we'll make any progress.
I was actually going to take him to paragraph 9, where he actually expressly admits that, but because that contradicts what he's claiming before this court, but I'll let it be. Just a minute more. I'm just trying to check what else remains unsaid.
My plan is that before we break for lunch, let's deal with the witness. Let's complete, then we start afresh with another witness from the lunch.
Yeah, that's fine, my Lord. And can I just say that I hope counsel for the party will say that the senior colleague to whom they have referred has covered some material ground and they will not be repeating themselves. So
Or the material.
Yeah, they really should only cross-examine on stuff that's not been covered, because otherwise it's not going to be the most profitable use of our time if we're just going to be retracing our steps.
My Lord, then let me defer to my colleagues. Yeah, I'm done. I'll stop here.
Thank you so much, my Lord. I agree with the Council for the Claimant that we ought to be using the first time resource plan. And indeed, I will not be repeating anything that has already been covered. This, I think, is important. Yes. I'll start by taking you back to what my learned senior colleague took you to. You were asked as what are your claims before this court, and among what you already told the court, you say the fact that there was a primary election, which to you never took place, and and also that as an individual, you were never informed by anyone, and I mean anyone, that there shall be primary elections on 11 May 2025. Yes, in the trial bundle, let's go to page 304. 304. My Lord, there are inconsistencies in numbering within the trial bundles. Because in our trial bundle, the same is referring to 306, but
So I think this one and that one are the same. Mine is different. What are we looking at?
we are looking at a photo start of a WhatsApp conversation. Yes, it's 304. It's 304, then we'll visit this 306. That's the problem. Because you see this 304 somewhere, this document.
So 373. Check 373. 373 might be this one.
Yeah, the numbering is very different. But, okay. Let me just use, you have 373? Yeah, let's just use 373. Yes. Can you confirm that there was a WhatsApp group?
Yes.
That's where we're going. Would you agree with me that through this WhatsApp group, you were able to receive information relating to the conduct of primary elections relating to Mzimba Central constituency?
Some extent,
yes. Thank you so much. Yes, we are still referring to 373. Would you agree with me if I were to say that you were a member of this group, but without giving any urgent reason, you left the group? Okay, basically, you left.
I left the group with a very good reason, and I don't have to bring back anything corrected.
Basically, you're agreeing with me that you left the group.
I agree that I left.
So, let's move to the document which in my triband I it was 306.
No, it's different to this one.
It's different.
Different to the other one. 373.
Oh, 37.
It is this one.
Yeah. This one. 37. We are there. 36. Yes. Having left the group, because you left, you couldn't actually be communicated to. I'm continuing, I haven't asked the question yet. Would you agree with me that the first Deputy Secretary General actually took effort to contact you personally?
This was on 30th April. When the first primary election was going to take place. Not this one of we are putting today of 11th of May. Because there was an initial date for election on the 8th of the 9th of April. So he told me about that.
Let's take the context, because my question is arising from the WhatsApp group. We are talking about...
Just for my practical purposes, there are two primary things about. The one for the 30th of the 9th of April and one for the 9th of the 11th of May. So he took the initiative to inform me of the one on 30th of April that failed to take place from the beginning of the meeting. But for the later thing, no one called you.
So what you're telling this court that you were aware of primary elections on 30th April?
One of those 2 days around that time.
My point is it was the DSG, Deputy Secretary, who actually took, based on the effort to contact you. And in that communication, you actually alluded to the fact that you send your team to go and campaign in the constituency in your absence.
I didn't read the message for the sake of record.
No, we read it. We confirm. Yeah.
I'm
reading and then I'll ask. But you can set the date for primaries. I can participate in abstention as long as the electoral college has been identified. But I'll send my team to go and campaign. That's what it communicated to the DSG. Thank you. No, you have time to give the exam. I think you have answered the question. And in the same context, on the next page, it's you actually telling the DSG that let the primaries go ahead. I want to participate. I formally write the administrative secretary. You confirm he tells you who sent that message. The next page, from where we are, which is 377, it was you who sent that message. Yeah, just confirming. Maybe we should start from the first, from the upper paragraph,
Yes.
where you're actually saying it's okay, Zitai. The party is bigger than all of us, even if You have been even if it is make mistakes, you're conceding. And then you are going on. Let the primaries go ahead. I want to participate. I will formally inform the administrative secretary. You sent that message.
Now, I send this message and I'll explain because
You have, yes, you have that time.
yes, and this is about the 3rd of April, not the anything. I emphasize on that. Yeah.
Yes, I will deliberately repeat this question about the electoral college, but I'll take it from another angle. You have been a member of the National Executive Committee of the Malawi Congress Party, and I'm sure you are aware as to roles as to the constitution of the electoral college. In your opinion, who do you think has constituted to come up with the electoral college? Is it, no, I haven't finished the question. Is it the party or the candidates themselves?
I answered that.
No, actually the answer just can just be a yes or no.
The foreign elections is the constitution.
Okay. Then let's refer to the electoral college, which is on page 620. My bundle. 620. I don't know. 620. Yeah, that's the correct page. 620.
620.
Yes. There is a list of signatures. I will not ask you the same question that any colleague already did. My question is simply, if you properly look at the list of signatories, apart from your own witness, Mr. Whiton Shaw, are you aware of anyone who signed this document who has lodged a complaint with any authority as to his signature having been forged or having acted under duress?
No, very good.
Thank you so much. Yes, you earlier on, actually in your statement, you have referred several times to having, to there being in existence an electoral college prior to 2019 tripartite elections. I'm sure you also agree that other members can die, can resign. Do you then agree that this electoral college ought to change from its from
I've said that again and again, I agree, and that can update it because others have read, died, I've said that several times.
Yes, to the next page, 621. Uh, 621. Yes, you did receive an invitation letter from the Malawi Congress Party informing you about initial intention to hold primary elections on 30th April 2025. And they said later had an electoral college attached to the letter. You agree? And you have already told this honorable court that you made a response to that letter.
Ndikoma ndipalira kuti ili kuti imwe mukazulapo kalata iyo.
In your letter, why did you not include your preferred mode of conducting the elections?
Kalata iyo tipauli imwe kalika yoya imwe election imwe ngali.
Or putting it differently to avoid delays, would you agree that in that response letter you did not include any mode of how elections should be conducted?
That was never in contention. What was
My question is, did you include? If the answer is yes,
Urani ndakundika kalika.
okay. Let's go to the letter.
Tiute danka panchi kukalata iyo.
My question is just about inclusion.
Urani ndakundika kalika na ini.
The answer is you do not include.
very good explanation.
Thank you so much. On the same point, would you agree with me that there are two modes of conducting primary elections? In some constituencies, there are, actually, you used to be a member of a National Executive Committee, secret ballot.
There is only one way of conducting primary elections, that is secret ballot, as endorsed by NEC. No, not anything else. And that's what has happened throughout the country, apart from the percent constituencies.
I'm yet to ask my question. There are two modes. Secret ballot. And where delegates line up behind. And that the choice as to which mode to use depend on circumstances.
Kwa kutikati ndetwa njini kutolera na mu bintu ngabalira ngabira.
Can I answer now?
I think that's the question. Yes, would you agree that where there is violence, the preferred mode of conducting elections would not be the secret ballot, but the lining up behind delegates preferred candidates?
Ntowa ingaonakora njakuti panji muntu wakalipa ntazi kupanga banyake wakalipa laini amasinda pa uyo wakumba kulisana na waloma kupanga secret box.
Yes.
I don't agree.
Yes, you remember when our senior colleague Mzuzu was asking you, he referred you to the paragraph where you attached a constitution of the Malawi Congress Party. What you have just told the court, would you say is substantiated by the Malawi, any section in the constitution of the Malawi Congress Party as to what mode?
NEC made and resolved that all primaries will take place by secret ballot. We have had primaries in seven constituencies. They have been done them by secret ballot. Nowhere else have they done by running by the party. Why only in some constituencies? So I disagree with you
100%.
So generally,
just a moment, Council. So off the record, our papi tili kuungano yayo chipati. Kuna kukot so tili kuwa mapi para banonga nage mtamsengera ukaya tali. Bara timbaniza kuno angamanya jaji kutuskama. So let's keep on the right report. Na lea na. Yeah, you can carry on, Council.
Mungarutiza
I think the remaining questions which I had have already been, I'm not said earlier that I can see for this, but my council did to just have a few questions to wrap up.
Na unakuwa yake ya Banyani na Roya Magari, so Banyani au ni just a few
Much obliged, my lord. My lord, I have very few questions. As already stated by Council Chimowa, that I think material ground has already been covered. My lord, my questions are emanating from the sworn statement of the claimant herein, which is on page 274. But before we go to the specific areas, I would like to ask you, I just want you to confirm, you have told this court that your vehicles were smashed, not so? Where did this happen? When was it? 11th May. I take you to paragraph 5, 6, and 7 of that sworn statement on 274. Who were part of your intelligence team?
Team intelligence.
It was Councillor John Lowe and my second assistant who was here,
Assistant Yan,
and others from the constituency.
When did this intelligent team report to you what you're alleging you heard from them? No, I'm referring to paragraph 5 to be specific.
This was not on the ground there.
My question is, when did they report to you?
I did answer there on 9
What about the members of your constituency executive committee, which you are referring in paragraph 6? When did they inform you?
Paragraph 6.
It was in the evening after I saw a video clip by the regional members. It was in the evening when I saw in the video clip by the chairman, regional committee members disputing that we cannot take place because they are the monitors of the region. They are not even there at the committee where it took place.
Do you remember submitting to the court that you did not have any team on the ground? You categorically denied having none of the teams when Council Jones was asking you. You said there was none.
I think he said represented. Perhaps it's a question of semantics, but representative and team are different, so maybe.
Much obliged, my lord. So, if you had earlier submitted that you had no representatives, where did this intelligent team get what you were being told?
Not miss the full council asking questions. Don't miss the representative of the Suez and the team. What they are doing to the council. I'm not afraid of your question.
All right, so from what you have just earlier clarified, it means you had 2 sets of representatives, not so?
mwanamula kuti abayimiriri bapambana makulu babiri.
And let's clarify, what you are trying to explain.
No, as clear as I'm asking, did you had 2 representatives or not?
makulu babiri bakuyimirira mpandi yake.
All right, thank you so much. Who informed you that the official who conducted the election did not use the secret ballot? In your paragraph 7.
I think it's becoming clear now that my brother doesn't have any questions. Because the things that he is canvassing are not even in dispute. So the way in which the election was held is not in dispute. Why would you elicit information over issues that are not in dispute? Because it makes them irrelevant.
The election is to speak
that we had people queuing behind candidates comes from the evidence of MCP itself. So it's not in dispute. Actually, if we had here a statement of a great fact, we would say that. So it's not in dispute how the election was held. You cannot be badgering the witness to explain how the election was held when that issue is already established and considered by everybody. So I think there's been a lot of latitude given. Maybe it's time the course was curtailed. So.
My Lord, maybe just to respond what Council has submitted.
Yes.
My Lord, the premise of the claimant is that there was no election. That's what he's submitting to the court. In his statement on page 274, it's coming out as if there was an election. That's why I'm asking him those questions. That's what we are submitting to the court, that the claimant has earlier submitted that to his knowledge, there was no election.
I don't think the argument was that the election never took place at all, but that in the manner that the election was conducted is as good as there was no election.
Yes, my Lord, that's what I was saying, that his assumption is that what happened to him was not an election. That's why he's here, my Lord.
Yes.
But the statements that he was making in paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 as if on the ground, on that alleged date, he disputes there were elections, he was getting information from his intelligence team. That's why I was asking those questions. And that was the sole reason, my Lord, I was asking the claimant to be specific on what he was alleging in those paragraphs. That is all not what counsel is alleging, that we are repeating questions. No, my Lord.
But does it change anything?
Yes, my Lord, it does. According to our case, it does.
My Lord, they are established facts here. Right? They established facts. And I think at this point, no one can seriously be contesting as to what happened on the 11th of May. In terms of the chronology of factual events. I mean, the only thing is what interpretation, legal interpretation, we're going to give to what happened on the ground. So that there was an event called on the 11th of May, initially set for Chamaliwa, that this event was disrupted, it was moved to Katunguiri. At Katunguiri, there was no secret balloting that happened, people stood behind candidates. I mean, that's considered. There is no doubt about that. The debate that we ought to have is what then is the legal consequences of that set of facts that established. So, for me, to the extent that the questions are directed at, I don't even know what they're directed at, but they seek to establish that which is already established, which I think is a phenomenal waste of time. So I would object on that basis.
chiri mukati chirikhazikitsika kale. So kwa ine
The objection will be sustained. Let's move on. I think we are, like Has was putting it, there is no dispute that there was some kind of an election which might not have been conducted according to agreed principles. But some kind of an election took place. As to how the candidate or the witness got the information, it's not really material.
My Lord, having said that, we therefore close our
hapo
The examination
Okay. Honorable Mumba, I'm going to ask you some questions so that you clarify some of the things that you were being asked. Okay.
My Lord, perhaps I'm not offending.
Okay, so I'm going to not take a lot of time, but I really think that most of the issues, I think most of the explanations you have provided. Okay, so let's start with the violence. Very concisely, Honorable Mumba. Why is it that you and your people are not commenting on the violence? That's a question that the lawyers for the defendants want to know. Why is it that you and your witnesses have not said much about the violence that took place?
Out of 4 reasons. Number 1, the day I was in London, I would not have sponsored any violence. Number 2, I consider violence as a criminal matter. That's why when our car was smashed, we went to the police because that's where they handle criminal matters. Number 3, I strongly believe those violence were staged by the second defendant.
My Lord, this is a direct contradiction to what actually this witness told the court when I had asked that question. I had asked the specific question that if you formed the opinion that this was sponsored by Mr. Adamson Kandawile, should not that have been the ground for challenging the validity of the election? And he said he never formed that opinion. So I don't know whether...
I was challenging the ground, because I'm not very good at the ground. Asking me something different from you asking counsel.
So when I rise up like this, you are not the one to respond. It will be your counsel. I don't know whether he is changing that statement.
My Lord, whether a witness has changed his statements or not is a matter of addresses from the back, and it goes to the credibility of a witness. So I don't think that's a showstopper. Can I proceed?
Yeah, the way I understood the area in the area cross-examination was that even if there was violence by the opposing party, you wouldn't use that as a ground for bringing these proceedings. His issue really was about the electoral college.
No, my question was more pointed, my Lord. I'm not going to pursue it if your Lordship rules that we can allow the witness to respond. But I wanted the record to reflect that I had specifically said, if you formed the opinion that that was sponsored by Mr. Mkandawile, would you not have used it and say he never suspected or Mr. Adamson Mkandawile? So the response was he never suspected. Now he is saying he thinks the violence was staged by the second defendant. That's why I rose up.
So if that's what the record shows, then we can come up now. Let's.
Yeah, sure. Let me move on.
Yes, sure. Let's move.
Yeah, you were number 3. Number 4?
Number 3, number 4. Number 4.
I would like us to play the same video which we played. I think it will give us a good apology why I'm saying any of those violations. Because people who are running away from violence cannot act the way those people were acting. Self-recording, walking through and discussing and chatting. Not only that, someone says, Marigo, don't throw stones now. You're not causing violence, and you're telling your people not to throw the stones down. The people will come later on. That's not addiction. And you're running away from violence. So let's do that here again.
Just a moment. And by the way, the people in that clip, they are conversing in Mumba. Okay, so not everyone here might be very fluent in Mumba. I'll need you to kind of offer your understanding of that. Because the court is fluent in Mumba.
It is.
Okay.
Mumba waluzisenga chakwera.
Stop there. If people are running away from violence,
What is Kuhucha?
throw stones to the front. So these are people running away from violence which are purportedly sponsored.
Hawa ni watu wa kukimbia. Wawa hivyo ine wakunyang'anyana kupanga sponsor.
They are running away by telling their people, don't throw the stones, throwing this time. Which means it's premeditated and planned, but just trying to smear my name that has sponsored violence.
Wakuangalia watu kujiyai kukuta maarifu yai. Wakumbaka kunanga zinalani ine kupanga sponsor.
Anyone who is reasonable and went to school and college who analyze those videos critically and say that these are just fake things because people are trying to smear mud at my name.
Lose kuzindikira wakamanya wakamanya hii chakula cha akili wanasawaka kuti wanati zinalani.
And we just about that because we thought this is not a single case, we reported to Kafule police station and the records are there. The people are arrested and they are out on bail.
Msasilapo hapo hivi kamanya kwenye milango ya Iringa ndio isi
Only the first defendant and some defendants think I could go and report to police and report me and answer a criminal case.
ndipo wanaandika kwanza wakiwili hiyo kama hii ni napanga sponsor ndipo wakaita napanga vote
Balute.
barayuwa kuna vini napanga sponsor barute wataanza report polisi.
Alright. So I think that
Just for the record, my lord, in your own time when you watch the whole of it, there is actually a part where the second defendant is reporting at police. So what we have played is just a small portion.
There's an envelope containing.
no, I think the envelope contains some other exhibits. The audio is what? Yeah, sure. Alright, okay. I think we can have the lights back for now. Now, Mumba, I'll now move to address the issue of your notice that you received about on the 11th May. Okay?
Aba tutenge pa kungo ya notice tumayiso cho ayoya kuenge meeting kwa mano 11 May.
Right, now I want to cancel Mr. Imawa didn't take you to the it's 374, my lord, I hope. And I apologize for the discrepancy. Honorable Mumba, what I want you to do is take the court to the screenshot or the message where Honorable Kazembe is simply informing you that, Honorable Mumba, I want to inform you that the election is going to be held on 11th May. It's going to start at this time, at this place.
Primary elections.
Hiyo ikatondeka ikachitika yai manya yai.
And I can go in that they say that my absence should not stop primaries from taking place.
Ine hayoya ine yoya kuti manayo ingachitika
As
akwambula
long
ine
as
pachesuzo
it is an agreed upon electoral college.
pachikando pa ikachitika ine kulije malingana kuaplikana kwa kupasana na wantu au mapendeleo.
Even now, we will have primary tomorrow on that day. I can do it in absentia as long as the college is not performing.
Pano mtinga kumano ikachitika chomene bara ikapeka kuaplikana ndapendelera awa vote awa pachesuzo kama mbaliji.
Okay.
The morning before I left for London,
Mwenje pambele ndaruje London.
I went to see the Secretary's house
Mharuta undapala ukaona Secretary General
to ask when the team got it. After the third
I advise the witness to follow the court.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, can you just finish that? You're meeting with SG?
before the whole commission, they went to a video at the headquarters disputing the electoral college that were shown upon us on the 7th of April. They held a 4-day video and it was agreed by the Secretary with them that a team will go on 10th of May to verify the electoral college for a week. So I went to ask people from the SG that you agree that on 10th of May people will go to verify the electoral college. I'm going to London and America. I need to know when to come back.
My lord, the witness may not understand this, but I'm sure counsel will. In re-examination, you only deal with matters that arose in cross-examination. We don't want to run the risk of new testimony.
But my lord, the issue here is, and that's the central question, was he notified about this so-called election on 11th May? And I think both counsel went at him at quite some length to try and discredit what is asserting that he wasn't aware that there was going to be a primary election on the 11th of May. What we're trying to do here is to provide clarity on that very central question. Was Honorable Mumba aware? Was he made aware by the party that on 11th May there will be a primary election in Mzuzu? It's not a new matter. So we can move on. Okay. Now let's go back a little to the question of the mode of the election. Mode of the election, because Council Chimoa here has suggested that well, you know, I mean, it was okay that people would simply queue behind the candidate. Why are you taking issue with that? So I want you to explain. Why are you taking issue with the fact that people queued behind some candidates? Apparently, in your case, you weren't there, were you? Okay, so you're aware that they queued behind the chair. That's what the evidence suggests. Okay, so what Council Juma is suggesting is that there was nothing wrong with that because there is no prescription as to how an election, a primary election in MCP can be held. What is your reaction to that?
Council Juma.
Mowa bangeoya kuti apa kawaje suzu okankowa iyo chipani chikaondeza chakuti vantu tunasinda kwa kuyo kumbotera.
That is the compromise because NEC made and came up with a solution that all primary elections must be held by secret ballot.
Bangeoya kuti pawe ngowa ndiyo kuendelea kuchitika njakuti pawe kuvota kwa kisisi.
And again, the issue that was bad, that's why they did, they queued behind the chair or someone else. They not all because they are political parties on the same political this other side. Whereby 3 times cancelled and for those constituencies they had to do it at the Green Station Stadium by ballot, not by but then someone else who the do it 3 days, those things happen. Why on the single constituency someone just decides to do 300 you queue behind the chair and people just move.
Chifukwa icho vaivoya kuti yai chifo cha kulawa paila kama maneno hiyo hapo kususa chifukwa wawawa wachitika mara pambana kwenye chikwauli wakasanganiwa hii kumzika Central Constituency.
In other refusal there is something they just respond to take and they give enough notice to aspirants and to win and they are all
So again, my lord, the witness is repeating hearsay. I was thinking counsel was going to advise the witness that that's all right. So you can stop.
I don't think there's any hearsay that is. What hearsay?
Did he witness those elections, for example? And so that's we don't want to go back to it. So let him stick to what he knows.
I think he's speaking from his own knowledge. He's a relative senior member of MCP. I think how the party has been holding primary elections. Sure, it should be within the primary elections. I actually think that the court can even take judicial notice of these things because they are in the public domain. They are so notorious about, because some of these are public figures. It's not even a secret. So the court can even take judicial notice of these things. We don't even need to read evidence about, for instance, what has happened in some of these constituencies. So I don't think you can really object on the basis of hearsay. There must be some other ground.
My lord, I actually thought that my colleague wasn't even going to contest this. The rule against hearsay says you can't repeat what you have heard from someone if you are not there for the truth of it. It's as simple as that. So all I was saying was this witness shouldn't be allowed to be repeating hearsay. It was as simple as that.
My lord, since my senior colleague, Mr. Soko, is actually advising this court to take judicial notice of the conduct of primary elections, we are obliged to respond there. It is not only in Mzimba Central Constituency where people had to queue, Bwanje, Salima district, there we will need evidence later on. But we ought this court not to take judicial notice of that.
Your ruling, my lord?
Yeah, I think let's just teach this thing about what happened in the election. I think the witness has already stated that they made a ruling. I think that's why now this morning I've been questioning about the witness for hearing independent. Stick to what counsel is reading. Now that this case has not been
Gani, Kala, Rondezi, council.
Much obliged, my lord. So I think that's really all that I wanted to read in respect of the manner in which the election was held. Now let's talk about your complaint about the electoral college, which is a central issue. You can have the band back.
Many listing ya banka ambazo wote
surrender my.
Who's the owner of this one?
That one.
So you want to donate yours for the time being?
For the time being.
Thank you very much, Council. It's very kind of you. Honorable Mumba, let me start by the processes now, as you understand them. My colleague did have a session with you, quite extensive, where he wanted to know what is your understanding about the role that the regional chair is supposed to play in respect of the issue of the electoral college, and what, in this particular case, why you are unhappy with the role that Honorable Chavula, who is the regional chairman, played, right? What is your grievance about the role that Honorable Chavula played here? But by the way, my lord, that's the regional chair. I've given him a name because he does have a name. What's your beef with what Honorable Chavula was doing?
The major beef is when we want to back to 50%, we need to communicate the list, say this electoral college, this is signed before I go, and before they verified the list of the name of the people, they signed. So later on, this is the wrong one. This was signed something wrong because the Chavula was rushing. That's where I feel it was unfair to the people who took advantage of their limited knowledge and many other things to impose a legal college on them. Because he does not know, and I say this, he does not know anyone or everyone, at the schools. It is the constitutional committee that knows everyone. That's why the ones who are mandated to come up with the college. That's great practice.
And related to that, there was a very long discussion about signatures. Oh, these people signed. Oh, why are you complaining? They signed for this electoral college when the regional chair brought it. Okay, they signed for it.
Yes.
Why should the court entertain your grievance?
When after they signed and they verified later on that their names of the electoral college are inconsistent, is when now I get to know about that. So the issue is, number one, when I was sending the document, the first thing I noticed was that someone might have written the names of the people, just waiting for them to put what? The signatures.
Cha kwamba hicho chikiza mtu cha ile cha kutupanje mtunyake panje mtunyake wangamanya kulimba mazina ndio kutunyake za sahihi.
So that is why I said the writing is for the same handwriting, and everyone sees clearly that the handwriting of the same person, all the signatures are for different people. It means someone sat down, wrote all the names, and took the thing they had just signed before I leave. And indeed, when you check with the witnesses, what I was informed that they got a document with already their names that they would sign before I left. That's where I'm.
What is the difference between the right
So marino tunaona kipande Mungu wakaremba mazina yana kutoka mnyaka kwa kitabichi wasaidie. So hicho ndicho tomeni kipangisa jini nizizwe na kukorelana na wewe.
Okay. And then there was a discussion about verification. Now, verification from the discussion that you've had with Mr. Jones, there were two levels, right? There was the one that was supposed to be done by the constituency committee.
Alikushinikiza kupanga verify kwamba watu verify
And then there was the verification which was supposed to be an execution of the resolution of the meeting at HQ, correct?
And the third one.
The third one?
Yes.
Okay. So just give the third one. We'll come back to it. But let's discuss these two first. In respect of the constituency committee verification, all right? The chairman of the committee to go and pretty much reshape the areas. What's your comment?
I reject that allegation simply because I was told by the chairman of the council to contribute towards the committee to expand that process. And as the practice, every time the activities they approach aspirants,
Yesu Kenge chikuwa Nandi Ngira yuko katika kampeni ile mopendera wa Jose wapendekezera kwa nao pagumu na sana wapeleke kwa ubiri.
And the second verification, which followed the meeting that the HQ hosted,
it took place and people went. But I was told that by the same people who were going out.
Who is Howard Lejipanda? Sorry? And what did he tell you?
He told me that they would not complete the whole exercise simply because of thugs who were harassing them. And even when the committee gave them these are the 4 people who might go to the area to verify, those thugs forced them to take Kancherifa, who is the second who was not mandated by the committee to accompany them to do the verification exercise.
Okay, and the third verification, which one?
After the primary failed to take place on 30th of April, after this electoral college, which he was speaking to us that the team that went to do the exercise, the constitutional committee felt that the bench was changed by NEC and regional committee. So they left for Lilongwe, where they held a vigil at the MCP headquarters for 4 days.
So my lord,
just a moment.
My lord, although I know this has been covered in the claimant's sworn statement, it never came up in cross-examination, so it can't come up now. There is no basis on which he can be re-examined on something that wasn't cross-examined on.
My lord, I think there was a lot of material that was directed at verification exercise of the voters' roll. That's really what the first limb of the complaint by Honourable Mumba is all about, that there was no consensus on the electoral college. And my senior colleague did go on and on and on about the verification exercises. So I think it's not a new matter at all.
But my lord, if you were to go back to the record, in fact, the closest the regional vigil. So when we are talking about his letters, he had explained that no, we believe that the meeting at HQ took place because some people from the constituency had come at the regional meeting, and I had said no, but that was on 29th April to 2nd May. So the witness corrected me, no, that's the HQ one, and it wasn't pursued beyond that. I think it would be unfair to allow the witness to proceed.
Yeah, so maybe we can break. I do not know. To get on time, we also need to, maybe, I don't know. Would half past two be reasonable? I think that would be too late. Half past two, okay, that's an hour, yeah?
Yes, then we'll have about an hour. Yes, that's fine. You should. I was going to suggest that we convene at 2. Seeing that we have barely started, but for the 17th, they were already dismissed. Imagine I can get some was because the constituency team see majority that information. So we can download. Yeah, okay. Please.
You should have taken it in You are the one supplying the international
She was one of the candidates for the MP
She's
position.
singing or something.
Yes.
So apparently she's a what?
Just a minute.
Okay, waiting for you.
All right. So let's quickly go and have a meal, then come back.
This disappear.
Yeah,
Okay. Tatambalira amene ndodandaula amene. You be here. Muzisamalire.
No one even.
Mukazigwira zimene zizi tinatsazika.
No.
Tidzakupeza ni mutamera mabere.
kuti zinalakwika zinthu tiyeni tiyambirenso tikapange chisankho cholongosoka tigwirizane za electoral college. You know why we are here fighting nzachilendo pang'ono.
Tikuyembekeza kuti muli waso 2:30 tembekezezo ndi chigawo chachiwiri.
Masanawa ndikuti kuli mboni zina ziwiri zathu zimene zitabwere. Ndikuona ngati kuti mwina mboni za MCP mwina sitikwanisa kuti tizifunse mafunso lero lifa cha nthawi, so mwina tipitirira mawa koma tayamba bwino, so tuone kuti kubwera kuzitha bwanji. Zomwambiri
amene akhumboso kufotokozako ndithu kucheza so ndi anthu amene ndithu afika pamalo ano ndi posachedwa pa ndikhaletu ndikuchezaso ndi ena amene ndithu akuyimira mbali imene ya chipani cha MCP ndi ndithu tikhale tikucheza nawo posachedwa ndi mukhale pomwepo ndithu kuti timve kuti kodi mmenemu zithu zikuyenda bwanji komano pamene tikudikira mwina Isaac takaya okay just nafika kumene hapo ningwa kupata
Having stood before a camera for a long time.
Yeah, it's fine. It's very fine. Mwina kungo ndifotokozera kuti ngati a defense kesi yanu ndiyo dani.
Choyambira ndilongosole kuti munthu wa defense umapezeka ku court chifukwa choti wina wakusumira. Ifeyo mu mulandu sikuti tinasumiridwa. Ine ndikuyimira Adamson Mkandawire yemwe anali mmodzi mwa ma aspirant amene anatenganawo mbali ku chisankho chimene chichi. Ndiye mmene mulandu umayamba sikuti Mumba adawasumira Mkandawire, koma Mkandawire ndi amene adapempha court kunena kuti ndi mmene mulandu ulili ndi bwino inenso nditakhala nawo pa nthawi imene ukuzengedwa. Kutanthauza kuti ngakhale kupezeka kunoko singatene kuti tikupezeka kuno ifo ndife osumiridwa, koma tikutengera ngati mbali imodzi ya anthu osumiridwa.
Ngati defense what's your argument?
Tikayitenga nkhani yonseyo mukayimvetsetsa pali madandaulo onena kuti izi sizinachitike bwino, izi sizinachitike bwino. Ifeyo ndikukhulupirira kuti mwina niyo mmatsatira munaonanso mmene zimakhalira kuti dandaulo lilonse limene linaperekedwa lidayankhidwa ndipo linatha ndipo chisankho chinachitika. Nde ngati ife oyimira ngati Mkandawire tikunena kuti chisankho chinachitika ndipo Mkandawire anawina, Mumba analuza. Nde tikubwera kuno kudzalitsimikizira ku court kuti onani kalata iyi, onani kalata iyo, onani soni izo zimene tabwerera ku court kuno.
Masanano tiyembekeze zinthu zoyani kuti kombali.
Tikhati kupitirira pamene talekera makamaka polionetsa court kuti zonse zimene zikudandaulidwa mkhotimo zidakozedwa kale ndipo zidayankhidwa. Kutanthauza kuti pali panopa ngakhale kuti mulandu uli mu court si kumene aso takhala mu court chifukwa zinthuzo zidakambidwa zidatha.
Chabwino amene oti mmodzi mwa oyimiratu mbali imene ya defense Justin Dzonzi ndi minanene amoja kuti mulandu wayambatu kummawa kwa tsiku la lero ndipo ukhale ukupitirira masana nthawi ikamati 2:30 ndi mkatimu munalitu anthu reporters athu amene ndithu amatenga zonse zimene zachitika ndi ndikhaletu ndi mmodzi mwa anzanga amene anali mkatimu kuti atifotokozere tsatane kuti kodi mkatimu munachitika chani. Ndi mwina ndimulandire Amon Butawo amene atiyambire kuti kodi kumawako kwachitika zinthu zotani mmene mundakulandira Amon.
Zomwambire tukendi.
Makhala menemo about 4 hours ndithu kumvetsera kesi imeneyi tatifotokozeni kuti kodi what transpired inside.
Ndipo ndizoona nali mkati menemo kumvera mlandu umenewo. Kuyamba kweni anali maloya amene akuyimira odandaulidwa amene nda Justice Tonzi anayamba kufunsatu amenewa afitimbuko Mumba kuti kuyamba kweni afotokoze zimene kwambiri akudandaula kuti akudandaula chani. Ndiye Mumba amene amafotokoza naye kuti makamaka ati kwa iwowa chisankho chimenechi sichinachitike ma primary elections komanso ngati iwo amene wabisana nawo pa primaries amene wawa sanazidi kuti ma primaries amene wawa achitika pa 11 May chaka chino komanso kumbali yokhudza ma delegates amene kuti kuna kuti electoral college ya kuti anthu ovomeza kuna kuti awanda amene akuena kuti aponye chisankho nawonso sanauzidwe komanso sanapatse chifukwa kuna kuti before anthu aja kupita kukaponya chisankho chimene chachikulu amene kuti mbali zonse zigwirizane komanso zinaona kuti okay awali anthu amene akuona kuti akatani akaponye chisankho chimenechi ndikamba kwenikweni adzonzi akuafusa mafunso amene kwambiri amumba kuti afuze chifukwa chati mwina mwake akupanga accuse una kuti chisankho chimene sichachitike komanso ali against everything whatever happened ndi amumba afuza una kuti kwambiri panali kukondera komanso ati amumba yowa kwambiri kudandaula kwawo pazaiso amene chachikulu kudandaula kalekale anayamba kulembera kulikulu la chipani pa 12 February chaka chino alemba makata amene akwana angapo ndithu koma makata sabakhala kulembera samayankhidwa kuti mwina mwake chipani chipange deal ndi ma challenges zosiyanasiyana amene amumba amapanga raise komanso kupale kukhudza kupanga verify ma eligible voters sanapange malinga ndi amumba fonena kuti akapanga verification ya eligible voters apena kuti ngati ma aspirants andetu malipoti so iwo ati malipoti amene wasanani sanandende kwa iwowa posanandende malipoti ndikuti kwa iwowa palibe verification exercise komanso amumba samafuruza kunena kuti maina anthu amene akuti aponye nawo vote amene okhala pa electoral college ambiri kuti one mwa iwo ena ali manani members achipani cha MCP komanso maina anthu ena apanga apiye kawiri pa ujeni pa list ya amene wa ujeni ma eligible for so ngati imene mutu makambirwa zambiri ko basi kuna kuti zoti zambiri mafuruza sanga tawira li amumba apenda cross examined ndi ambali imene ya odandaulidwa so kena kwa amene atamaliza amene wa mbali ya odandaulidwa kwa afusa mafunso ndana amene wa amumba now it was 10 yoti akhumbo soko amene akuyimira amumba amenewa kusatani kuti afotokoze kuti so afusa mafunso awiri atatu
mwina mafunso amene anafunsidwa kuchokera ku mbali imene ya asoko inaliona
makama kwambiri funso yambira yeneni amafunsa iwa amumba onena kuti kodi chifukwa chani mbali yawo kwenikweni yangokhala chete ya pa ma violence amene achitika ku Chimawali ya kumene tukachitike pale ma venues kali ma venue yamba nayi Chiwamali kuti achitike maujeni primary elections amenewa kena cause of the violence anasintha kuti kachitike kumbali ina so akumbosoka mafunso kuti ndi chifukwa chani mbali yanu yangokhala chete pa ma violence amene achitika ndi amumba anaona kuti ifeyo nkhani imene iyi tipita ngati criminal case so kwa iwo akayipanga ripoti nkhani imene ku police komanso nthawi imene zimachitika iwowa anaona kuti ali ku London because mene apangira ma primary elections awene pa 11 May awene kuzimba Central Constituency nthawi imene inoti amumba anali kunja ndipo iwo akambe mafuna kuti mwina kumbali yawo apange atengena mbali pa primary elections amene wawa inabusicha chalifa kwamba kweni ma primary elections mene kuzimba Central Constituency amene achitike pa 3 April so pa 3 April avitumboko Mumba anatozera kuti ma elections achitika pa 3 April ndipo sala lokonzeka kuma sorry even that day after the elections amene wawa achitike inabusicha ati as long as electoral college kama kuti eligible voters afuza mbali zonse kuti onse ngati ma aspirant candidates kuti safuzana kuti okay anthu awawa ndi amene akuyena kuti atanidi aponye vote pa chisankho kumasa kumba panena kuti ndi chifukwa chani ku constituency kwawo kokha amafuna kuti anthu aponye vote popanga queuing kumbuyo kwawo pomwe madera monse anthu aponya vote sakuja chipulula kudzera mujeni mu ballot so ibeso concern nemeso mumbanana kuna kuti kana apanali kupana chinyengo kwaso mwina ngati mwina achipani mwina makondera candidate wina wake ponena kuti agwise ntchito queuing instead of using ma ballots so adali pano mlandu umenewu awimisakayi masana pano ukhalanso ukupitirira kumbali yawo ngati amene wavitumbuko makamaka kumbali yawo ngati amene akhomposoko amaza kwafusa mafunso amene akwayimira pa mlandu amene wa vitumbuko Mumba